What is up, Renaissance crew? And I am Devon DaVinci. You're watching DaVinci Reacts. Now I'm gonna be getting into something that's kind of a throwback to an old video I made a long time ago. Probably one of my very first popular videos, and that was top 5 video game system or top 5 scariest video game console sounds. This kind of goes into that. This is 15 scariest enemy sounds that make you run far, far away. Now this video was done by Gaming Bolt. Gaming Bolt is a channel that has all kinds of different lists and video game themed videos. If you want to find out how to watch the original, the link is in the description box down below. And at the end of every one of my videos, or at least all my recent videos, I have a link to their channel at the end that lets you subscribe to them if you want to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and get into this. I'm not even sure what exactly to put on here because usually whenever it comes to scary sounds, I'm not around long enough to hear them. Whenever I hear something scary, I'm not thinking about, okay, let me decipher what exactly this is. Is that a cello? Is that, like, I don't give a fuck. If I hear a sound, I'm trying to get as far away from the sound as possible. So the fact that I hear the sound, I know that I'm fucking up. So let's go ahead. I mean, okay, I got one sound on here that I hope would make this list, and it's not even from a scary game. The drowning sound from Sonic the Hedgehog. Anybody that knows the drowning sound from Sonic the Hedgehog knows that that stuff is freaking nerve-rattling. Like the damn sound, like it sounds like you like a damn slasher villain is about to jump from the side of the screen and just cut Sonic all to pieces and shit. But I'm really looking forward to see what's on here. Let's go ahead and get into it. And again, if you don't want to hear this video with interruptions and stuff like that, be sure to check out the original because I will be stopping this every once in a while.
Gaming Bolt presents 15 scariest enemy noises that will make you run far, far away. When it comes to horror in any media, subtlety is king. Sure, the jump scare and a robot bear leaping out at you might make you jump once or twice, but the truly great scares in gaming hit the player well before they even see the actual foe, usually due to some sublime sound design and hints that begin to build the tension well before and even up to that moment when the things that want you dead finally catch up with you. Warning, slight spoilers ahead. The Last of Us clickers. Out of the variety of zombified fungal terrors that make players slowly peek around every corner in The Last of Us, none is quite so terrifying as the clicker. The telltale clicks that give them their namesake are how they see, and how the player knows to be very careful. If they notice Joel, not only will they immediately jump him, easily ending the game, but they have a terrible aggro screech that makes us jump every time.
The thing that got me about clickers was just how stupid they are. Like, I mean, I get the fact that they use like echolocation to figure out where everything is, but a lot of times, like, as long as you're in like the sneaking stance, you can pretty much get around them, even if you were like right next to them. And I mean, if their hearing is so sensitive that they can hear clicking off the walls, I would assume that they can hear your big ass boots hitting the damn ground.
Within 2, Anima. The Evil Within 2 sees players stalked by the terrifying Anima, a twisted, ghostly form of a
Final
girl
Fantasy X.
who will relentlessly chase down the nearly helpless player if spotted, ending Sebastian's quest to save his daughter. When she does show up, her telltale muttering and singing of Claire de Lune makes our blood run cold even now.
Oh, she just wants somebody to listen to her singing.
Half-Life 2 Zombie. The terrifying alien headcrab is scary enough on its own, recalling both zombie lore and Ridley Scott's Alien series. The zombie scream in Half-Life 2, however, holds a terrifying secret. The gibberish will, when reversed, become a very clear scream for help from the bloodied, transformed, and unwilling host of the alien parasite, giving the disturbing implication that the person underneath has full awareness of themselves and their pain, but no control.
Hell. That did not seem like a smart choice.
PT.
Oh, I thought they were going to play the sound in reverse.
Within the decrepit halls of PT, the silent hills that...
If there's a way, maybe I'll put a
player
little
is trying to
clip
piece
in there
together the
with the
events
sound
that
being
lead
reversed
to
so
the
we can
nightmare
hear it.
situation that they're in, what exactly the radio is talking about with the murders, and how the player and the hellish imagery they're seeing fits into all of this. Through this, the player can occasionally hear the lamenting cries of Lisa, the nightmare woman who stalks the player and kills them if caught. Cries that grow even more disturbingly closer.
I still have this game on my PlayStation. I've never deleted it.
Alien Isolation, Xenomorph. The Xenomorph is a classic sci-fi horror icon specifically because of how intimidating and hard to understand it is. When you as a player become isolated with one, the grunts and roars of the imposing alien become all that's needed to make a dot on the motion detector a terrifying thing. And the terrible cries that it unleashes when it finds you still infect our nightmares. Amnesia, The Dark Descent. Cool. Gatherers. The Gatherers in Amnesia, The Dark Descent are lost souls, captured by the owner of the Dark...
I've seen this. I never played this game, but I've seen the monsters. There's no way in hell I'm playing this. Ain't no way in hell. Like, they got like this like weird crooked looking face, kind of like that chick from The Ring.
Castle you're exploring and horribly experimented on to do his dark bidding. As the protagonist Daniel is unarmed, all you can do when you hear their terrifying roars is hide or flee, lest you just see one and slip closer to insanity.
Looks like he's like, hi, hello. Oh, he's got this doofy smile on his face. Hello. Oh man. I hate that little thing about scary games where they try to pretend like your dude can't defend himself. Oh, he's unarmed, so he can't punch, he can't push, he can't kick, he can't do anything. Like, it's like fucking Outlast. You sit here and, I mean, some of the monsters I get, like that big giant dude, what the hell is his name? Christopher Wallace or whatever the hell. That big giant monster, I get that. Okay, you can't fight him. That makes sense. But then you got some people that are like fucking shrimps, and they got like a pipe with them, and your dude just runs and just gets hit by them, and it's like they're tiny. Push them, punch them, do something to them. Goddamn it! You should be able to defend yourself at least to like a minimum extent.
Dead Space 2, The Stalkers. The necromorphs, alien parasitic abominations from the Dead Space series, aren't really known for their subtlety. Usually they'll lunge right at you with their twisted, mangled forms and go right for the throat. But the Stalker is different and much more terrifying. The bird skull-looking, heavily mutated Stalker sneaks up on their prey without making a sound. You only hear their piercing scream when they move to attack, which is all too often too late.
Shit out of that thing.
Sinistar.
Yeah, I've never played Dead Space.
Beware,
I'm kind of
he
glad I
lives.
didn't.
The terrifying Sinistar is the destructive force that arcade players of the self-titled Twitch shooter grew to dread in the 1980s. His digitized taunts have elevated to something of a meme status in recent memory, but in the game, the love child of the Death Star and Freddy Krueger is nothing short of nightmare fuel.
He Beware, coward. I am Sinistar. Beware, I live.
Resident Evil Zombies. The zombies of Resident Evil are classic gaming horror, but that doesn't make the figures that lumber around the halls of Spencer Manor any less frightening. The bioweapons from Umbrella get the best introduction for an enemy, and the mournful groans and wails that reveal their presence from then on drive the tension of the entire game.
The first zombie sounds all professional, and the second one comes in, I can make noise too. Like, dead. Let's go back a little bit.
Until Dawn, Wendigo.
That second one gonna lose
the nature
his
of the
damn
Wendigos
job.
that stalk the cast of Until Dawn is disturbing enough on its own, being humans transformed by cannibalism into creatures of the night. When the gang encounters the skeletal creatures in the mountains on their own, the telltale screeches are sure to raise the hairs on the back of your neck and have you asking yourself, who could be next?
They sound like raptors.
Outlast, the wards. The halls of Mount Massive Asylum are sprawling and confusing in Outlast, and you aren't the only one there. In the abandoned hospital, there exist all kinds of humanity-lacking abominations and terrors, most frightening of which are the wards. The hulking creatures will chase the player down at many key points in the game. They're screaming and babbling, all the while splitting your focus and scaring you into mistakes.
This is the experiment.
Better push. You better push.
Metal Gear Solid 3: The Sorrow. The villainous cast of the Cobra unit is top tier in Metal Gear canon and makes the first mission of Big Boss really as special as it is. But even
Dave
between
Thomas.
the big personalities that come with
Man,
a
all he trying to do
maniac
is sell
that
some
shoots
Wendy's
hornets
burgers.
from his
Ain't nothing
mouth
scary
and
about
a
him.
pyromaniac spaceman, the Sorrow stands out. His ghostly, low tones and lamentations of sadness that battle brings as he taunts the implied-to-be-dead Naked Snake while sending the souls of those he killed on his mission against him, all form one of the most memorable moments in a game full of them.
The hell is up with the crying blood? This game done went from fucking PlayStation Classic
Mortal
to
Kombat
mini
3,
pasta or
Fatality
creepy pasta.
Screams. It takes a special kind of game series to be a factor
Hyper-realistic
in creating the
blood.
ESRB. But in the case of Mortal Kombat 3, we see why the series grew its notoriety. The haunting screams of the victims of each fatality were half of the cool factor back in the day.
That's not a fatality.
Fatality.
Ain't nothing scary about Liu Kang. Ain't nothing ever been scary about Liu Kang.
Left 4 Dead 2: Witch. The Witch is the only special infected in Valve's Left 4 Dead 2 which can't be taken control of by a player, and for good reason. The highly sensitive Witch is mostly docile if left alone to cry, but if a player should aggro the female infected, she can move on them and kill them with a speed unseen among other infected, making her sobs alone a huge threat.
I wonder if there's like some type of backstory for Left 4 Dead and why the witch always like sits around and cries and stuff.
System Shock 2: Hybrid. As the player explores the UNN Rickenbacker to figure out what's going on, they're inevitably going to encounter one of the hybrid which infests the ship. The worms attach themselves to an unwitting host, who become beholden to the parasite. But unlike earlier entries on this list, we hear directly from their cries that the person within the hybrid is fully aware and begging for a quick end to their suffering. For the pure body horror of being a passenger in your own body, the hybrid tops this list.
Who hurts us? Discord! We do not fall. The many sings to us.
And that about does it for this video. If you enjoyed what you watched and want to see more from Gaming Bolt, you can always hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon next to it. That way you will never miss any of our videos.
Yeah. Like I said, at the end of this video, there's going to be a link that takes you to their channel, the exact same as this. So if you click on it, you can subscribe and follow and everything else. I'm trying to think about what exactly. Okay, so it didn't have Sonic on it apparently, so it was only covering scary sounds in scary games. Now, I'm gonna have to find a list one day that talks about scary sounds outside of scary games, or non-horror games, as they probably would call it. I'm gonna go ahead and try to look up a different, I'm trying to look up some type of Wikipedia page or something that explains Left 4 Dead's backstory and what the story behind the witch is, because it is interesting that it sits there and like cries, but I mean, if you just play the game, I guess it would like raise some questions. Like, okay, what the hell's going on? And I don't think it's ever really addressed inside the game. Only thing they really say is just stay the hell away from it. But I'm gonna go ahead and move on to something else. I do have a video that I'm gonna be releasing today about the new ways to request for a video. So if you have any type of request you want me to react to, be sure to watch that video, because it's going to give you new instructions for what you got to do to leave a request. Because just leave it in the comment section. It worked out for a while, but at this point, like, there's so many comments that it becomes a hassle trying to figure out which ones were first and where separating the request from the general comment. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave a video with new instructions for that. Anyway, that's been this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and share. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to another video. I'm the original Renaissance man, Devon DaVinci, signing out. Deuces.